Hi all, so on this video I'm going to show you how I 3D print a dashboard for the car I'm building. So the first thing I've done is started out with a good old bit of CAD, cardboard aided design. So I have the dashboard basically is going to fit in here. I'm not going to really have much dashboard in front of the driver's seat. It will have the main gauges, but they will be sat. There's going to be one of these that's going to be sat just above the steering column so I can see those important stuff through the steering wheel. So over here we're going to have warning stuff, you know, like telltale for the indicators, brake fluid warning lights, those sort of things. Then we're going to have a row of switches for the lights. Then there's going to be the ignition key and starter button and a USB port. So we've started off with good old CAD, cardboard aided design, and I've roughed it out with that. Right then, so from my bit of cardboard I've then taken all the measurements off and I've drawn that in. I use FreeCAD. Reason for using FreeCAD? Because it's free. So we've done that, then we transfer it over to the print file program. It's too big to go on one plate, but this one, it cuts it in half. So somehow when this is all done I'm going to have to join the two halves, but I will be putting probably carbon over the finished dash, so that will hold it together. And we go over to the printer, and as if by magic got it printed out. So let's get that off and see how we are for size. I would say this is third iteration, just in case you're thinking that I can do this sort of thing first time. I'm printing this very, very thin, so I'm not wasting too much plastic basically, because doing something like this with this many holes and mounting holes, there's bound to be some errors in there somewhere. So this is a trial version at the moment. So that's it attached to the car. You can see on here I tend to use this as a, so that one needs to go up 2mm across 2. So we're pretty close, except for that one. And for some reason that one that was fairly close is now quite a bit out. But I think we're looking fairly okay with those small adjustments. So that is roughly driver's eye view. So we've got all the important stuff in view, and obviously through here will be the RPM and speed. I think that's looking okay. I think we must be on about Mark 3 now of this dash, and I'm quite happy it's fitting fairly well now. So I'm going to do tiny little tweak. We just need a tiny tweak on that hole, tiny tweak on that hole. I think I've overdone the radius on this a little bit, so I'll just adjust that a bit. But as far as I'm concerned, those adjustments are very slight, and I'm confident that it's ready now to print the final dash, if you like. So I've backed the 3D print with one layer of fiberglass, except for where the joint is, and I've done a couple of extra layers there, just extra support. What I did with the fiberglass is, you'll see there's a few little holes that I drilled through and I countersunk, and then I stuck a bit of tape over. So then when I put fiberglass, I put resin on first, making sure those holes were filled in, so they're acting like little plugs. And because of doing the countersink, the plug obviously flares out the other side, so I suppose rivet would probably be a better way of describing it. So it sort of become a rivet. So what I need to do now is clean up this surface. I need to drill out the bits that I don't need, and then I'm going to skin this with carbon. So next stage is where we actually use some carbon. So basically I'm just skinning the dash with a layer of carbon fibre, partly to make it look better, but also it will stiffen it up and make it more, hopefully last a lot longer. I won't go through how to skin carbon fibre. There are some excellent videos by Easy Composites on YouTube, far better than I can do. So if you don't know about skinning, go see those. The only difference I've done is I've used a layer of mylar on the top. It's because this is flat, you can do this. And then I've used an old credit card as a scraper, so I can scrape out any air bubbles. Here, these are where there's the holes for the gauges, so obviously those don't matter, but you can just sort of see the bubbles. Oh, that's one there as well. Normally you can see the bubbles and you can just squeegee them out. And once I've done that, I'm going to stick some books on top of it to make sure it's nice and flat as the carbon sets. So a few hours later now, the resin has hardened. Not enough to sort of work on, but we can take the... Whoop. Do things one-handed. You can see a good finish that is left on there. It's the odd blemish, but really very, very little. These marks here, these are where the holes are for the instruments. So that'll be left now for a couple of days to make sure that resin's really hardened off. Then I'll drill out the holes and we'll be ready to fit. So we've got a nice shiny dash. Obviously what we need to do is just trim it back so it's not overlapping our original shape. I'm going to do that using, these things seem to work pretty well on carbon. If you're doing anything with carbon that can make any dust, dust mask and gloves are a really good idea. This stuff can be quite irritating. So I've rubbed down the edges and got the corners so they're nice and smooth. One little tip for me, don't be stupid like I was, with a nice shiny carbon and put it down that face down and scratch it all up. It'll come out alright, but obviously I've now got a bit of polishing to do, which is a bit annoying. Also on the back I've roughly rubbed down a couple of patches smoothish. The reason for that is I can then use those self-adhesive square blocks for then like the anchor points for cable ties. So obviously there'll be quite a lot of wires on the back of here, and then I can keep them neat running along there. Right, so basically we've got three sizes. I think we've got our instruments, our ignition key, and these switches, which are most of them. So hopefully we can still clearly see where all our holes were. Also obviously our mounting point holes. So I'm going to get a drill, correct size for mounting. I always drill them 1/2 mil bigger just to give myself some tolerance. And I'm going to measure this size up, and these are normally 52 mil. I think that must be 2 inches. Big old fat drill for these. Slightly bigger than that, right? I thought that was the right size. better. And the holes for this, I say, should be 52. Unfortunately, the nearest I got is a 50, so I'll have to drill it 50, and we can either probably just file it out a little if we need to. You even end up with some circles of carbon you could probably find some use for. And as we thought, we're just very slightly out in size there, so I'll get a half round and just file these out a touch. And then a couple of minutes with the good old half round, and we got a nice fit on there. So basically you just got to do the same thing for the, obviously for the other dial, and just make sure all the other switches and things fit, and that's job done. Well, obviously not job quite done because it's not fitted to the car. This is my car at the moment. As you can see, it's in the middle of having the chassis painted, so I'm in no position to fit it. But if you want to find out more about all this, Cars Project PX200, it's a whole series specifically on the car, and also there's some other ones on wiring up of the car and things like that, so it's probably worth you having a look at those as well. But that's that one for now. Catch you all later, bye.